Vineet Pandey, and in this video, once again, my laptop is not working. I don't know, it's a MacBook, but maybe because of live sessions, it's not working. So, in this video, we're going to talk about American literature and most important Afro American writers. We already have talked about these things, we already have covered those things in online and offline classes. But I understand you want to know my opinion in just before the exam, so like last minute guidance on Americans and Afro Americans. First of all, as only 7 days are left, I'll be talking about the most important ones. How many of you are prepared with Henry James? Portrait of the Lady Isabella Archer, heroine, Wings of the Miley Thiel, What Messi Knew, Bostonians, Ambassadors. Did you read all these things? From my point of view, Portrait of the Lady and Wings of Dove are more important than any other works. Henry James as a writer is important, so read basic things. Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Are you prepared with Great Gatsby? Do you remember the names of Daisy Buchanan, Tom Buchanan, Myrtle, and all other characters like Nick Carraway? If you remember, you are prepared. How many of you remember Death of a Salesman and All My Sons written by Arthur Miller? If you're prepared by, if you're prepared with these things, if you remember Death of a Salesman, Willie Loman has a wife, Linda, her two sons, Biff and Happy. Biff is the strongest one, represents Hercules. Happy is the beautiful, handsome one, represents Venus. If you remember this, then I must tell you in net exam it was questioned that Biff and this guy, Happy, they represent respectively Venus and this one, Hercules. It was like match the following. Who remembers, who matches whom? Then, All My Sons, Keller family is very important. Ernest Hemingway, The Sun Also Rises, Farewell to Arms, and no doubt, Old Men and the Sea. Eugene O'Neill, Harry Ape, Emperor Jones are very important. And once again, I'll ask you, how many of you remember that Eugene O'Neill has won 4 Pulitzer Award? I asked these kind of questions in my classes in offline batch. And in fact, it's like 3 to 4 times I asked them that you should remember. And no offense, I'm sure hardly 2 or 3 will remember it. So remember Beyond the Horizon, Strange Interlude, Anna Christie, and Long Day Journey into the Night. The 4 books by this man, Eugene O'Neill, which has won Pulitzer Award. But remember, you have to read Harry Ape and Emperor Jones. Now we talk about the famous writer James Fenimore Cooper. Last of the Mohicans is very important. Leather Stocking novels are very important. Remember Nettie Bumpus series. Washington Irving, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and Rip Van Winkle are more important. Song of Hiawatha, H.W. Longfellow is important. R.W. Emerson, Brahma, Nature, and his famous work, I think, Oversoul, Soul Over Soul. The basic things you have to remember: R.W. Emerson's Transcendentalism, the members of Transcendentalism, Thoreau, Emerson, this lady Hilda Doolittle, and 2, 3 more writers. So make sure what is Transcendentalism and who are the members of Transcendentalism. S.D. Thoreau, Walden, very, very important. Robert Frost, after Apple Picking to all other works like Birches, Earth is the Right Place to Love. Everything is important. The Road Not Taken, Stopping by Words on a Snowy Evening, Mending Wall, these all are very important. So please check the lines. Walt Whitman Harmonium Poem Collection is very important. And remember, The Man with the Blue Guitar and The Emperor of Ice Cream are very important ones. Do not forget Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass, and the Great Lincoln Tragedy either. When the lilacs lost and the dooryard bloom. Please remember that. Apart from these things, the Americans we have to do is Mark Twain. Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn are more important. So please, both of these are very important. Check them out now. And the remaining Americans, we have Philip Roth. Just remember, I married a communist and plot against America. Only this much. Then we have John Updike, Rabbit series, Rabbit Angstorm novels. This is very important. And Americans. Marilyn Robinson, Name of the work I don't remember. I think Marilyn Robinson's famous work is Zillyhead. Please find out. Marilyn Robinson. It's very important. And there are a few more Americans who are very important. Like Nathaniel Hawthorne, Scarlet later. Then you feel lucky that I don't remember those writers now, because obviously they are not the world classic ones, the very important ones. So Herman Melville, Moby Dick, very important. You know, the best thing about the live session is that I don't use anything. I just speak. And yes, in English in India, I was using it because I wanted to write it, and I must upgrade my knowledge. Even I feel like that why to use any material, just teach in fluency. So even I'll work hard, and I'll remember a few more things. I'll let you know if I get to remember those things once again. Almost all the most important works we have talked about, so please check them out. Don't forget these most important American ones. In Afro American, Toni Morrison, Beloved, Bluest Eye are very important. Don't forget Richard Wright, Native Son, very important. Langston Hughes, Harlem, I Too Sing America. All these works are very important. Langston Hughes as a writer is very important. Now, apart from these things, remember the Afro American Harper Lee, his famous work. That's very, very important. And when you read all these Afro American writings, go for Alan Paton, Cry the Beloved Country, and the famous writer, the one who has written uh, the bluest, no, this one, Alice Walker, The Color Purple. These are very important works. And then don't forget to read Maya Angelou, Still I Rise. So these will be like most important Americans and Afro Americans. From my point of view, Langston Hughes is more important than any writer. Richard Wright, Native Son. These are very, very important. You can also read James Baldwin, Go Tell It on the Mountain. Apart from these things, Margaret Mitchell's Gone with the Wind is equally very important. So read all these things. This is American and Afro American. 7 days hai, so you can just rock. And I'm sorry for my dilapidated look. This is how you tell people that the exams are going on. So, you know, this is the fashion of the people who are preparing for the exams. I'm sure all the boys will understand this. Or take proper sleep. Bye. Allah Hafiz. Take care.